They have a screaming match and start kissing because toxic relationship, and it's not long before they're doing the dirty. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Really, nigga?
Just a bunch of sweaty ass niggas in cockpits. I don't.
Loading intrusive.
Before young men were getting recruited through Call of Duty campaigns, patriotic war movies in the 80s were what drew the youth to the thought of serving their country. I'm for real, they were pumping these suckers out every year like it was a XXL freshman freestyle. One of the most iconic movies of the time was Top Gun, basically Fast and Furious, but with airplanes. How do I explain this? Nothing like starting off a movie with reading. Maverick and Goose are sent to Top Gun pilot school because Maverick's wingman, Cougar, resigns after an intense dogfight. Apparently, he was scared of dying in battle and leaving his family heartbroken and grieving or some shit. They get there and it's not long before they start making friends.
Top Gun was created to teach ACM, air combat maneuvering, dogfighting.
This gives me a hard on.
Yeah, I'd keep an eye on that nigga if I were you. He might try to top your gun off, if you know what I mean. Maverick's main goal at Top Gun is to be the Top Gun and win the award for the best pilot, but a pilot named Iceman isn't gonna make it easy for him.
Matt, you want to know who the best is? That's him, Iceman. That's the way he flies, ice cold, no mistakes.
Iceman drinking ice water? Coincidence? I think not. Also, the best pilot happens to be Batman. Another coincidence? Fuck no. Maverick spots this blondie named Charlie Blackwood at the bar, and he tries to spit some game at her with the help of his fellow pilots.
Excuse me, miss. Hey. Don't worry, I'll take care of this.
You never close your eyes anymore when I kiss your lips. There's no tenderness.
Brother, this guy stinks!
Riz sure has come a long way, hasn't it? Charlie shoots Maverick down, but just like a lot of men in the 80s, he's not gonna take no for an answer. Brother is down bad. After breaking several rules and failing a training op, Maverick thinks it would be a good idea to do an unapproved flyby on the control tower, leading him and Goose to get their asses chewed out by their CO Viper.
Really enjoyed that map, thanks a lot. Holy shit. Maybe I could learn how to be a truck driver. Matt, do you have the number of that truck driving school we saw on TV?
Going from aviator school to getting your CDL is like trading in your PlayStation for a piece of paper with tic-tac-toe on it. As time goes on, Maverick makes a couple attempts to rizz up Charlie, who at this point he finds out to be one of his instructors, but that doesn't stop him from landing a date with her. After a very passionate volleyball scene, he heads to her house.
You always get what you want?
No, not always. Yeah, maybe.
The romance between these two is cool and all, but did you notice the insane unibrow on my nigga Thomas? Notice the threatening unibrow on my boy Thomas Cruisington here? That motherfucker could have his own call sign. Call him Lieutenant Harry. Maverick and Charlie have a spicy elevator moment the next day, but Charlie makes it clear to Maverick that her job comes first. She even goes as far as brushing him off in class, and Maverick doesn't give her a chance to explain why, speeding off on his bike. So Charlie chases after him in her convertible, ignoring all traffic laws like OJ and a Ford Bronco. They have a screaming match and start kissing because toxic relationship, and it's not long before they're doing the dirty. Maverick and Goose do some more flight training, and at this point in the movie, I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Really, nigga?
Just a bunch of sweaty ass niggas in cockpits. But Maverick ends up abandoning his wingman and failing the training op again. So he apologizes to Goose and he promises he'll lock in. Goose's wife and son come to visit him and they have a wholesome time that definitely isn't setting up for a tragic event that will happen in the near future. Psych, I lied. A training op goes wrong and Goose leaves the chat after a failed ejection attempt. Maverick misses his dog and Viper, being about as sympathetic as a commander could be, tells him that shit happens. Maverick and his new Rio get into it during training.
Hey, man, we could have had him. Hey, we could have had him, man.
Nigga, shut the hell up and eat a cinnamon.
Going from your best friend to a very vocal black man that challenges every decision you make must be jarring, to say the least. Also, they gave him the name Sundown. Is that because when the sun goes down, it gets dark? What are you trying to say? Maverick considers quitting, and after a talk with Viper and a night of aura farming, Maverick decides to stay at Top Gun and graduate. But the government waits no time, sending him and some of his fellow graduates on a rescue op. Damn, they can't even get a chance to change out of their paper towel shirts? Looking like a bunch of quicker picker-uppers out there. Maverick, now partnered with Cougar's old Rio Merlin, enter a dogfight where I once again do not understand what's going on. Maverick doesn't want to get in the mix at first because he's scared he might pass away. I don't get it. Why is he so scared? They'll just respawn like Fortnite, won't they?
Such a lame ass.
With the help of Iceman, Maverick kills 3 MiGs and the remaining MiGs retreat. Iceman and Maverick dap up and the movie ends with Maverick deciding to be an instructor at Top Gun. He also links back up with Charlie, but that becomes very irrelevant. You'll see. Now, the first Top Gun was cool, alright? There's nothing too crazy. It's just a good old nice feeling family movie, but Top Gun Maverick? Boy, let me tell you something.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
You think after all this time they get the memo that niggas aren't trying to read shit at the beginning of a movie. They waste no time reminding us about the tragedy that was Goose's death, along with giving every patriotic middle-aged man the fan service nostalgia coke bump that they've been waiting 36 years for.
It's still real to me, damn it!
Maverick finds out that the Admiral is scrapping the Top Gun program because in this modern day, the government has drones and robots that can fight our wars for us. But Maverick wants to prove them wrong by showing him how fast a manned aircraft can go. I'm no expert on pilot gear, but I have a feeling they added these little LEDs on the inside of his helmet just to show it's actually Tom Cruise flying. Maverick flies fast enough to prove that Top Gun is still worth it, but can't help pushing the aircraft beyond its limits.
Maverick! Maverick!
And that's the end of the movie. Alright, I'll see you guys next week. Maverick has a talk with the Admiral about his actions, and he ends up being sent back to Top Gun. As Maverick gets there, he immediately is briefed on a special mission involving the destruction of a uranium enrichment plant based in some unknown country that they never actually talk about. Come to find out, they don't want him to fly the mission, but they actually want him to teach a class of younger pilots to fly the mission. But Maverick wants no part of the mission when he sees his late best friend's son is in the class. But Admiral Cyclone couldn't give 4 shits, telling Maverick he either does what he's told or he's out of the Navy for good. Maverick heads to the bar and finds the Admiral's daughter, Penny, who is actually running the place. Maverick hooking up with the Admiral's daughter was kind of a running joke in the first movie, but it definitely wasn't prominent enough to bring Penny into this movie as an actual character. Unless they were looking for a new love interest for Maverick because the actress who played Charlie did a human thing called aging and now doesn't meet the beauty standards of Hollywood anymore. But that would just be fucked up, wouldn't it? While catching up with Penny, Maverick notices the younger pilots he'll be teaching starting to fill the bar. There's Hangman, Coyote, Phoenix, Payback, Fanboy, and Bob. I guess they ran out of gamer tags for him. Rooster, aka Goose's son, is the last one to show up, and Maverick instantly starts to clam up upon seeing him. But due to some stupid bar rule about sticking out your yacht or something, Maverick is kicked out, so he has to reminisce about Goose and ponder his son that adopted Goose's weird facial hair from a distance. Aw, don't cry. It only hurts when you think about it. The next morning, Maverick introduces himself to the new class and has them do some dogfights against him as the first training exercise. The young pilots feel cocky and make things interesting by betting whoever loses their dogfight has to do 200 push-ups as a punishment. And let's just say Maverick had these motherfuckers looking like Ashton Hall. After a while, Rooster and Maverick bump heads during a dogfight, and after the fact, Hangman puts 2 and 2 together that Rooster's dad was Maverick's old partner. Maverick briefs the class on the mission and how it will be executed, with each flight requirement leaving little room for error. After a couple practice attempts, the class can't crack the maneuvers. And to make matters worse, Hangman brings up Maverick's relationship with Rooster's dead daddy. The next day, Maverick gets a message from Iceman, who is now a commander, asking Maverick to come see him. The actor who plays Iceman suffered from throat cancer, and unfortunately he passed away in April of this year. Rest in peace. But he was able to film the movie before he died, and they wrote his condition into the movie. So Maverick has to communicate with Iceman like he's having a conversation with ChatGPT. You know, come to think of it, it seems like Tom Cruise is the only one who came back after all these years and is still in somewhat decent physical health. I guess that's what happens when you invest in the Church of Scientology. They probably got all sorts of Yakub youth smoothies and baby and and baths full of baby tears. I'm only kidding, of course. Anyway, Iceman gives Maverick some words of encouragement to keep trying to teach a Top Gun, and so Maverick pushes on. Is it a naval tradition to do physical activity in jeans on sandy surfaces? And what kind of game are they playing that involves 2 footballs? I've seen Tom Cruise run plenty of times. Besides him doing his own stunts, it's kind of what he's known for, but the fact that he's carrying a football amplifies his running form by like 1,000%. Nigga looks graceful. After the football game, Penny and Maverick head home to play their own version of touch football, and it's not long before he's sneaking out Penny's window to avoid being seen by her daughter.
Just don't break her heart again.
I ain't gonna lie, she pressed the fuck out of that nigga. Maverick explains important details about the mission to the class, and the more he explains the mission, the more it sounds impossible. The team trains the mission, and they have a close call with an unconscious Coyote and another close call with Phoenix and Bob, thanks to a couple of suicidal birds in their engines. And after that, Maverick and Rooster have some heated words because Rooster finally confronts Maverick about pooling his papers when he first signed up for the Navy, making it a lot more difficult to get in. Maverick did this because it was Rooster's mom's dying wish, but for some reason Maverick never tells Rooster this. I guess for the sake of character development or some shit. It's safe to say things are shitty, but they couldn't get any worse, right? Wrong, nigga. Iceman dies, and Admiral Cyclone takes Maverick off the mission to oversee the training himself. But after Maverick steals one of the planes and speedruns the course faster than the required mission time, Cyclone sees no other option but to bring that nigga back because Maverick is just simply him. Yeah! So Maverick says goodbye to Penny and chooses Rooster as his wingman for the mission. Now, I'm not gonna lie, watching the final moments of this movie, I was genuinely locked in at this point. This shit was good as fuck. It had me on the edge of my seat. And so I wasn't really taking notes, but this is a quick explanation of how the final mission went. Everything goes according to plan until everyone has to fight their way out of enemy territory. Long story short, Maverick ends up sacrificing his plane to save Rooster and gets stranded, but right before Maverick gets gunned down by an enemy chopper, Rooster sacrifices his plane to save him. So now Maverick and Rooster are both stuck in enemy territory without any way out. This is where the plot armor kicks in heavy. So they sneak onto an enemy base that they previously blew up to steal an old plane that happens to be unscathed by the attack and in perfect working condition. They then get it in the air with half a runway and somehow fight off 2 enemy aircrafts with barely any weapons. After that, they are spotted by one more enemy, and after having no choice but to dodge their shots because they're out of ammo, Hangman comes in just the nick of time to save them. They then land back on the Navy aircraft carrier without front landing gear just as they lose one of their engines. Everyone glazes them, rightfully so. Rooster squashes his beef with Maverick because they've trauma bonded now. Rooster also squashes the beef with Hangman, and Maverick becomes a stepdad. Everyone lives happily ever after with minor cases of PTSD. Alright, that's it.
Subscribe.